Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today we are continuing my Season 1 Mandalorian rewatch with Season 1 Episode 7. We are so close to the ending of Season 1, and we are only, 3 days away, 4 days away from the beginning of Season 2. No, today's Tuesday. We're 3 days away, I think, right? If you don't count today. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, we're so close to the beginning of Season 2, and we're almost done with this rewatch. So if you've been watching this, thank you for watching along. Also, you might have noticed last episode, for episode 6, I had to put this text bar over the portion of the little window that shows where I'm at in the episode. So basically, here's what I have it set to. I had it set to show 8 seconds of the episode at a time, just 8 seconds, and then it would disappear for 5 seconds. And then it would show back up. But YouTube did not like that. So I'm kind of finding where the line is of what their copyright system doesn't like. So if you only make it disappear for 5 seconds, for some reason that triggered it. And it was like, no, it's blocked. It literally would not post the video. It just told me it was blocked. Not copyright struck, blocked, right? So I was like, okay, it won't let me post that at all. What I had done before is I had 8 seconds of the clip shown, and then it would disappear for 12 seconds. And YouTube didn't have a problem with that. All of those episodes are still on YouTube. Those are fine. Those don't even get copyright struck. So if it disappears for 12 seconds and then it comes back, it's fine. But 5 seconds, it's just too short of an interval. So what I've done now is I have it disappearing for 10 seconds. I'm literally like narrowing down the window of like, okay, 5 seconds is too little, 12 seconds is enough, so maybe 10 seconds will be fine. So this episode, I have it disappearing for 10 seconds and then coming back. And obviously if you're watching this and you see a big text where the window is, then that means that it blocked and I had to add text there in order to even post the video at all. So YouTube is weird. I don't see why it really matters if it disappears for 5 seconds or 12 seconds. I don't see why that matters at all. As long as the actual segment of the episode is like 8 seconds long, I don't see why it would matter how long it disappears for, but I guess it does somehow. YouTube is weird. I don't even know. The other thing, I know I'm going to play the episode in a second, but the other thing that's weird is that I've seen channels, like reaction channels, I've seen some channels post, like, the full video. Not necessarily Mandalorian, but, like, other shows. I've seen, like, people literally watch an entire episode of a TV show and react to it. And those videos are on YouTube, so I don't know. Maybe it's a Lucasfilm exclusive thing. I really don't know. In any case, we're going to see how this goes. Obviously, if you're watching this and there is text on the screen where it says that it was blocked again, then you know that it didn't work. So, anyways, just so you know what's going on. And as always, I'm going to count down from 3, and on 1, I'm going to hit the play button. And I'm going to try and hit the timer at the exact same time, or at least as close as I can get. There might be a 1-second delay. So if you're watching along, which I'm assuming you are, just try and do that with me. All right. So we're going to hit play on 3, 2, 1. Okay. I've started the timer and Disney Plus. Previously on The Mandalorian. We still don't know why IG was told strictly to kill the child when Mandalorian was given an option to bring him in alive. So that's one thing that still doesn't quite add up. In the moment of, like, we had a couple episodes where they didn't get back to the main plot. I think a lot of people, including myself, were kind of aggravated. Like, oh, get back to what's going on with Baby Yoda. But rewatching it now, it I guess because we don't have to wait a full week, it really doesn't feel like it was. They weren't away from the main plot that long. It was only like 3 episodes, right? So I'm gonna try and keep that in mind for season 2. So if there's like 3 or 4 episodes where they don't talk about the main plot and they're doing like just day-to-day stuff, I'm gonna try to keep that in mind, that it's like when you rewatch this as a whole, it's not really gonna be that bad. So I'm gonna just perspective, I'm gonna try to keep that perspective in mind. Yeah, I guess he thought that he had. Hmm. Yeah, see, the deal makes sense. Like why Amanda would take it, because how long can you stay on the run from other bounty hunters before you will eventually get caught, right? So it makes sense. And I guess I didn't really consider this, but I guess by the end of this show, spoilers, he's not going to be hunted by bounty hunters, at least, just Imperials now. Um, so that's good. At the very least, you'll know what an Imperial looks like when you see them. But then again, now would the Imperials still be able to hire bounty hunters to go after him? Or would there be like this understanding of like, no, 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 the Mando's a bounty hunter with us and he's on our side or some. I wonder if there's like an understanding there with the Bounty Hunters Guild from this point forward, because Grief Karga's on his side now, so. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see season 2 if the Imperials are still able to hire bounty hunters to go after him. Yeah, this Zabrak that she's fighting. Um, what's interesting is, I believe I've seen a photo of this Zabrak. It's kind of hard to tell when he's moving around, but I think he does have, yeah, he does have some markings, like Darth Maul type markings, but they're very subtle. Like they're not like because he's not like black and red like Maul was. He's like a skin colored, like a peach colored. But you see, he does have some tattoos, but the tattoos are not even like really dark. It was kind of hard to tell he even had them. Um, and I know there's like weird things with Zabraks, because there's like the species is on one planet, but then the Night Brothers Zabraks are like a specific like sect of Zabrak or something. But then it looks like all Zabraks have tattoos like that, so it's kind of confusing, because like Darth Maul's tattoos, I think when Episode 1 first came out, Darth Maul's tattoos were supposed to be like Sith tattoos, but then they've since changed that to like Night Brother tattoos. So I don't know what that Zabrak's from. Okara Dune is a criminal now. That's basically what she's saying, which is. So it's interesting that she's still very much against whatever remains of the Empire, but I guess she just ran away from her post in the New Republic and became a criminal, I guess, because she was like she can't even set foot on a New Republic station or whatever. So I guess she's essentially a mercenary. I don't know if she's quite a bounty hunter. This baby Yoda's touching stuff. He is, isn't he? Oh, there he is. Yeah. You know what's interesting here, and I don't know if this is actually supposed to imply anything, but they showed Baby Yoda like listening to their conversation, and then he started messing with the controls. So I'm wondering if like I'm almost wondering if he's like on the level of intelligence where he was trying to not go back to Navarro, or he's just a baby messing with stuff. It's kind of hard to. I don't know if they were trying to imply that he knows what he's doing a little bit. Hmm. What planet is this, by the way? I don't know. I don't think they've ever told us what planet this was that Quill is on. Yeah, so that was interesting. Where they said like he thinks that the child was a strand cast, which, as far as I can tell, just means a genetically created being, like a science experiment, basically. You know, so not like a natural organism. Basically, they were made in a test tube and they're just created with crazy science and like not necessarily a clone of anything, but just like a genetically created being with science. Basically, Snoke. I think that's the idea behind Snoke is that he's not any one species or any alien type. He was just created like in a vat, and they're just like here's a bunch of genetic matter, and we're making a thing. But of course, Quill says that the child is not a strand cast. He looks evolved. So basically, just he belongs to a species. But that still means that he could be a clone of that species. You see what I'm saying? So like all the clone troopers are still humans, you know. They look evolved because humans were evolved, right? Um, but they're not a strand cast, as in they're not like a fake, non-existent species that was just made. So that's the difference there. So Baby Yoda could still be a clone, just not a. Oh, he squished that lizard. Just not a fake created genetic nothing, you know, like Snoke was. At least I believe that's the idea. See, I do like this idea here, where it's like Quill maybe doesn't know enough to like. Because I imagine when you're making a droid, you would just be able to like, all right, here's their software, their behavior. You just insert this new like here's new software you can create that will just upload all this information, right? But I guess if you don't have that and you have like a blank slate, like you have a complete blank slate, you can then just teach them behavior. Because I imagine even a blank slate droid still has like some kind of learning mechanism about them. So where like a more advanced person would be like, oh well, yeah, I just here's the software behavior chip. I can just stick that in, and there they are. There's a whole behavior, a whole personality. Whereas Quill's like, I just taught him day to day how to do things. Oh yeah, he didn't know his name. Interesting. Yeah, see, I like that Mander just learns this whole thing of like, Quill's not a mercenary or bounty hunter. He's not doing this for any kind of payment. He's just like, this is what I believe in people being free. So I'm gonna help you stop these Imperials. And then of course Mando goes on his own little journey with the trusting droids and stuff like that. I don't know. It's cool. It's cute. What is that tube he's got? That Quill's got? Is that like a some kind of smoking device? Oh yeah. I think Baby Yoda thinks that they were actually fighting here. Oh my god. It almost feels like IG-11 was gonna protect Quill if something happened. Hmm. Oh, that's right. He made him the thing. But anyways, yeah, I was gonna say like it definitely seems like Baby Yoda is not necessarily a like a baby. Like he still understands like he's like, oh, they're fighting. I'm gonna protect Mando, and although it definitely kind of raises the question of like, how does he understand like how to choke someone? Like not like, oh, he learned the skill, but I mean like he understands the idea of like, if I grab them here, that will stop them. Like it's, I don't know. Feels like there's more to Baby Yoda's past. Like maybe he was being taught bad things. I don't know. Oh, I just noticed you can still see like the blaster mark where Grief got shot. You can still see the hole in his jacket. He didn't bother to get a new jacket or a new vest thing. Yeah, I guess they would instantly recognize that. Any of the stormtroopers, yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that this was all just part of the ruse. Like this whole journey they have to make to the town because like the town is occupied by Imperials, but obviously Grief here, like the plan was to betray them and give them to the Imperials. But they had to like make it look good, so like, all right, we'll meet way out here on the outskirts. What is that thing? That's like a I don't know what that was. That was a weird looking thing. Hmm. That creature. I'm wondering how many of these like little alien creatures we've seen before. Because we're about to see like these bats looking or bats type things, whatever they are. And I don't know if they've been in like a book or a comic or something before. Yeah, see, he's well, obviously he's lying to him because that was like the plan was to betray him. He told him to. Oh shit! There it is. Whatever this, whatever those things are. Um, but the interesting thing is that the plan wouldn't have worked anyways, even if like it was a legitimate plan. He's like, yeah, you just kill him and then their paycheck is gone because unknown even to Grief Karga that the client guy is not really the guy in charge. Moff Gideon is, the guy I'm assuming is really still supplying everyone with money and food and all that stuff. So even then, the idea that the stormtroopers would just scatter once the client's dead because they don't have a reason to fight anymore would not be true. So it's good things played out the way they do here because even if it was a real plan, it wouldn't have worked. Yeah, these things are like they're more like dragons, I guess. Yeah, he got like stung or something, or bit. I don't know. They're poisonous somehow. Oof. No, that was like a claw slash. So what do the med packs do? Is it just back to? Is that what? Is that really all it is, or he's trying to eat me? That line's always funny. Yeah, it's interesting that this episode aired right before the Rise of Skywalker came out, so it was like our first like shown. There was our first like appearance of like in canon force healing, and then of course Rise of Skywalker had. It's like okay, everyone can force heal now, right? Um, Interesting enough, and I don't know what article, what page this was on, but I saw something on Twitter the other day where it was a picture someone had from the Star Wars website where it described force healing as like a dyad ability, like or something like that. Like only the people in the dyad could force heal. And so now everyone was like, "Well, Baby Yoda just force healed. So what does that mean? Is he part of a dyad too?" It's all very vaguely defined, and I imagine that that article will be edited or something because I feel like it's all still really up in the air as far as like who can do what, why, where. It's all it doesn't really matter. Look, Baby Yoda can force heal. That's all you need to know. um, After he kills his guys, there's something you should know. Yeah, so they got to be at least a half day away from the ship, right? Because they had to, you know, they arrived there on the planet and they went through like a whole. They had to stay overnight at some camp, and then they got here. So, and then of course, spoiler alert. Quill does not make it. um, so I don't know. I guess he starts writing now, but those speeders are faster than the blurg thing. Um, Chain code? Was that like identification? What's interesting is that if you go to Galaxy's Edge, you do see the Mandalorian's helmet on Doc Ondar's wall, I think. So it's like, what happened to the Mandalorian? Just kind of funny. They're really lucky that the people at the gate didn't want to check the cradle to see if the child really was in there. The way he talks. Um, no, but what he just said about like, oh, when it gets forged by its ancestors or whatever, like he's already basically telling him like, yeah, we know about the what's her name, the armorer forger lady. Yeah, so the New Republic really just hasn't like got a hold on, probably especially where they're at, like the outer rim areas. See, how did he know? That's what I. Oh, and then he shot him. Oof. See, the funny thing is, like, he probably could have just ordered the stormtroopers in the room already to just attack them, right? Couldn't he have ordered that? I don't know. But yeah, the thing is, like, how does he know this? Because the bikers have not they haven't started chasing Quill yet. They won't start chasing him for like a second here. I'm not sure how he knew that the child wasn't in the room. Yeah, and I think, and for this episode, they got like a lot of the 501st, the group to come in all their armor and do this episode. Yeah, see, it's only now that the speeders are gonna chase him. The other thing is like they were able to just tap into that communication like that. I don't know how the channels work, but they're always like, oh, he's using an open channel. So I guess that's what was happening there. Um, yeah, so they don't start chasing Quill until then, which is that evidence of Moff Gideon sensing something? Like, was he able to sense like, oh, yeah, the child's not in that room or something? Um, I don't know. That's again, there's several things in this first season that are still very much not explained. Um, and I don't know if they'll ever get addressed, but Moff Gideon might be force sensitive, maybe, unless he like scanned the room and only detected 4 life forms or whatever, and like, oh, there's not the child there. I don't know. Oh man. He didn't make it. Oh, Quill. Or Queel. Yeah. All right. That was another Deborah Chow episode. I forgot about that. Huh. Okay, so stop the episode. Stopping the timer. Yeah. That. Oh, no, Siri, not talking to you. Ugh. Okay. Anyways. Um. Yeah, that was episode 6. Couple things I noticed there that I didn't notice the first time. Obviously all the talk about strand casts and he could still be a clone, maybe. Um, but definitely like Moff Gideon knowing that the child wasn't in that room, because he's like, "Are you sure? You might want to check again." And then he just starts firing, which it's like, okay, so Moff Gideon knew that he wasn't there, but how? That's interesting. I guess he could have done some kind of life form scan from his ship or something, and I don't know. For me, it almost implies that he knows where the child is at all times, or something. I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting thing I didn't really pick up on the first time. Um, yeah, and of course it's sad that Queel died. He was. It's interesting that he was only in like 2 episodes, really. But somehow like his character was like built well enough that like you cared, like, so when he died it's like, oh man, I actually cared. He was only in 2 episodes, but somehow it had like an impact. Anyways, yeah, that was episode 7, and we have just one more episode to go. All right, see you guys in the next episode. Bye.